Hello and welcome to South of King's Landing Explosion Network's after show, where we discuss and break down each and every episode of House of the Dragon Season 3. It's back after what feels like 21 years. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me, Hand of the King, Ashley Hobley.
Dylan, excited to be here, but it feels like we've only just left Westeros.
It does, yes. It does help when there's another show helped. Well, you know what actually would have helped it? If they were more spaced out, you know? Like, instead, they're like, nah, fuck it. You can have 2 Game of Thrones spin-offs in the same year. We won't spread them out. Just all in or nothing, you know?
Why not?
Why not? So, episode 1 of season 3, a longer one. I forgot to write down the next one. I think it was about an hour 15-ish. Sound about
like that,
right? Yeah. Now, before we get into it, I'll say I think expectations were a little high. I think the reviews dropped, you know, a little bit before, and everyone's like saying, "Oh, it's so good," blah blah blah, and I'm like, "We'll see." It was pretty good. What did you make of the premiere of episode 3?
I mean, it was pretty good. It dropped us right into the middle of everything. It's like it definitely felt like we were picking up from right where we left off, for good or for bad. You know, like should we have done like a bit more prep going into this season? Probably, because while the recap did give a lot, it didn't, you know, specifically name everybody, every single character and that kind of stuff. So keeping track of who's who and all that kind of stuff is still not the greatest, and who's new and who's being introduced, you know, who's been around and we just haven't noticed for a while. But I think specifically as an episode of like in the Game of Thrones universe, I think this is probably the most action-packed premiere that we've gotten of all the seasons that I can think of, with the massive water battle at the end. And you know, if there were a lot of moments where if this was like your basic fun fantasy thing, they would have played out different. But because it's the cruel, nasty version of the fantasy world, bad shit happens to good people and good shit happens to bad people. So, yeah, it was a really good episode to kick things off.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you watched the recap, because I did. I was like, oh, I feel like I can remember most things, but
pretty sure I'm going to need this. I'm, you know, I'm not going to give myself enough credit to believe.
I was like,
I remember all this stuff from beats. 2 years ago.
Yeah. I was like, I remember how it ended, vaguely, you know, so I remember a lot of complaining about Damon sitting in a castle all season, you know. I remember.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember last season. That's all that was the number one thing. I remember
that was the main thing.
Yeah. The problem, as always, with
Why
the show.
They taking Matt Smith away from the rest of the cast?
Yeah. Yeah, the problem with this show really is just like coming back after 2 years. I mean, everyone's just flying off people's names left, right, and center. I'm like, who? That's that person. Trying to remember who, you know, like when people are referencing people, I'm like, I was like, yeah, that's right. I forgot who's there. But yeah, so it was a very good episode. Obviously, they do a little bit of moving people around to places, reintroducing, and all that sort of stuff, and then we do get what felt like a penultimate season episode of action with the Battle of the Gullet, yeah, which was very good, very tense. Wasn't sure which direction it was going to go, and then, yeah, obviously leaves us in a very interesting place for the rest of the season at this point. I'm going to read through a recap I found on Games Radar. We'll use this one as the thing that's going on. I'll say this. Most of the recaps, they're sort of just like chucking. They're not doing it sort of in time, on time, a lot of stuff. But anyway, so I'm just going to read this thing here. Adding fuel to blah, 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 blah. Wild Dragon's Sheepstealer does an impressive job sneaking up on a sheep, which he promptly roasts a desperate Rhaenyra attempts to tame the wild dragon and even manages to melt the untamable beast, but Sheepstealer flies off with little thought for his rider's comfort. That was one thing I sort of forgot about, to be honest, when the show... when you see it open there, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, that dragon, that girl. Forgot about that for a second, but here we go. Let's see which direction this goes.
Yeah.
Or what the point of this dragon was, because they teased it as this untamable dragon last season, but it sort of becomes a prominent plot point by the end of the episode, of course. Back in King's Landing, newly crowned King Aemon drags Grand Maester Orwell out of bed in the dead of night and threatens to behead him, believing he has enabled Aemon to flee the keep. Larrys is missing as well, however, putting Orwell in the clear. On the road, Larrys and Aegon are tucked away safely in a carriage. Larry has forgotten to pack the milk of the poppy, leaving a still singed Aegon in excruciating pain. Things go from bad to worse when the convoy is stopped by a band of mercenaries loyal to Rhaenyra. To save their lives, Larrys reveals that they've captured Aegon Targaryen and that would be wise to deliver them to their queen alive. What do you think of this scene? This is quite fun to watch.
This was Larys like saving his own neck. Like, I don't know what
saving his neck or saving both theirs. Like technically, they were about to just kill them. So
well, he was about to kill Aegon, to be honest. Because he was being a little bitch who couldn't stand to just say that Rhaenyra was king or queen. Even just lie, just cross your fingers, behind your back or whatever. Whatever you need to do to make you feel better about it, but just say the words, right?
But couldn't was going to consider. Yeah, because I didn't to particularly take it as Larry's like just saving his own ass. I took it as him still saving Aemon, just with the one. Obviously, it comes across like he doesn't care, and he's like throwing him under the bus because he goes straight to revealing who he actually is. But I think.
Yeah, just keeping him alive is enough at the moment, and he believes that he can talk his way out of whatever situation will be down the line.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about, I think, before, I mean, it's been a couple of years, but that character obviously comes across very Littlefinger-ish, where, I would believe that he thinks, this may seem like a silly thing to do, an unescapable scenario to put themselves in, but it keeps them alive, and it bides him time to think about across the whole trip there what to do, what is the next best course of action.
Yep.
Now the problem I think for him is there may have been a world in which his death may have come quick and painless and ended the war or whatever, sort of thing. However, after the events at the end of this episode, I'm not sure they're going to play.
No, it's not going to be enough.
It's not going to be enough, and that's the problem. So, yeah.
Well, Aegon and Larys leaving the castle has fucked everything up for everything that was set up at the end of last season. Of Alicent coming to Rhaenyra, making a deal, and it turns out that Aegon not being there in the castle still has had the ripple effect of screwing up their plan.
Very much.
Classic.
After securing the loyalty of the Rivermen last season, remember that? Damon leads a massacre of Lannister forces, though we only catch the tail end of the bloody battle. Jason Lannister, we learn, has fled, but moments later, figures emerge from the tree line, and the man up front offers Jason Lannister's severed head. This is Roddy the Ruin, Tommy Flanagan, leader of the Winter Wolves, who were dispatched by Cregan Stark in the Season 2 premiere. Took their sweet time marching down from the north.
Listen, this is classic Game of Thrones, where it actually takes time to get places.
Classic proper Game of Thrones. There's no time travel in this
classic
show.
Season 1 to 7.
Yeah. Season 1 to 5. Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. If there was any question about Mr. Ruin's loyalties, his declaration that, quote, "We have come to die for the Dragon Queen," should clear up any doubts. And that's all we see of Damon this episode.
I mean, just kind of very much just setting up where he is this episode and what he's about. Yeah, some good fighting, good kills, and that kind of stuff, but didn't need to be any more than that.
No, that's fine. All I know is I don't have to deal with 8 episodes of him mooting around a castle, getting a seeing a vision from the three-eyed raven and whatever the hell else to get things moving. So I'll take that.
Got a little bit more space to move in this season.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah. It was good to see the Stark banners up again. You know, It's been a while.
Yeah, and to be honest, until I saw that, like the whole thing is like they were dispatched season 1. I'm like, can't remember that.
Yep.
Season 2, sorry, that's the premiere of season 2. Can't remember that, but sure.
Also, random question I was thinking about when I was watching. Do you reckon there are wild lions running around Westeros?
Well, they must,
or were at any point.
Surely, I mean, they were killing a cheetah or a lion or some shit in this scene. I don't know if it was wild or just they were using.
There was some sort of creature. Like
there was definitely some sort of creature. Yeah. Still en route to Harrenhal, Kristen Cole, bitch. Sorry, that's me adding things. Hasn't cheered up one bit since we last saw him. Even when Gwaine approaches him with demands, he reprimanded one of his troops who had assaulted a woman. Also, Kristen can think about is how insignificant everyone is in the face of dragon warfare. Yep, and I think that's all we get of Sir Christian this episode as well. Yeah.
What was he doing? He was like painting something, or
was he painting? Or was he sharpening? I thought he was just
like
sharpening
polishing
sword or some shit, polishing something. Yeah, he ain't painting. Polishing. He's polishing something.
That's what you do when you're depressed. You like get into the zone. You know, you do your adult coloring.
After that one fiery battle,
his spirit is broken.
His spirit is completely broken. Yeah.
Also, the line about as long as we don't lose our morals, like at the end there. I don't know if that was on purpose to hit Christian Cole as hard as possible, but I feel like it did.
I know.
A man who gave away all his morals and was fucking everybody.
Yeah. Because he's a little bitch.
At least you remember.
That's all I remember from 2 years ago. He's a little bitch, and he's going to continue to be a little bitch. Fuck you, Christian Cole. Dragonseeds, meanwhile, are stuck waiting for Aemon and Vhagar to fly by so they can intercept the new king on his way to Harrenhal. To pass the time, they share stories about the past. Later, Ali's Rivers, that's her name, is it? Hey. Appears out of nowhere and tricks the Dragonseeds into abandoning their post by telling them a battle is underway at Dragonstone. To fear and concern, they leave. What do you think of our interaction with the three bastards?
I mean, it was a getting to know them moment. We get to understand a little bit more, I guess, behind the psyche of Ulf. And, he was clearly abused as a child, and that has affected him all the way to his adulthood. And is only in it for a castle, which, fair enough.
That was the one comedy funny part of this episode. Just what
the fuck am I going to do with the horse?
It's just that who said it would be nighters? We'll get castles. It's just something to do. You get a horse. What the fuck am I going to do with a horse? I got a dragon. The women will love a man, a knighted man.
The dragon.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I think the women will love a man with a castle more. There was some good banter there. There was some good banter. Yeah. What do we make of our witch lady appearing out of nowhere? What's her story?
I don't know. I thought she was telling the truth. Like she was foreseeing some sort of vision that they need to go back to Dragonstone for some reason.
Well, she's on Damon's side, isn't she? Like
I thought so.
I thought so too. Yeah.
This recap seems to give the impression that maybe not.
Yes, I'm a bit confused. So, I don't know. You can never truly trust a witch, I guess. I don't know. Witches. They're untrustworthy. Also, when she appears out of nowhere, is she looking like a little...
There was like a moment of like a...
There was something.
A reindeer creature.
Yeah, there was. And I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be her. The implication was it was her transformed or something. I don't know. Or something else. Yeah. But there was definitely something, nonetheless. Yeah.
A little grown-up chopper.
Yeah. Don't know. Back in the Vale, Sheepstealer dumps and seemingly strands a haggard Rhaenyra on top of a mountain, but later returns with some roasted sheep, which he shares with his new rider. I thought this was a nice little scene. Bonding.
Yes.
Not bonding enough.
I guess, whatever you can do. But yeah, she was willing to eat that real quick. I guess it's been a while.
I don't know if she was so hungry or she was just trying to
impress or like
Impress-
show her appreciation.
Press, yeah, the drag, yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Also, side note, the design of Sheepstealer, really cool with like all the spikes, like even more than all the other ones, to the extent where when she gets on, I'm concerned that she's going to impale herself on.
He's got a very haggard look. Very.
Yeah, not the prettiest of dragons. But,
no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Aboard the Queen Who Never Was, Lord Corlys and his illegitimate son, Alan of the Hole, share a moment in the sea snake's cabin, bonding over disgusting looking liquor. Corlys looks on Alan with pride and wants him to take on Corlys' name, but Alan is called away when a siren sounds. Triarchy? What do we call them?
Yeah.
Triarchy forces have been spotted on the horizon led by Admiral Sharako Lahar. Speaking to Lyland Lannister, Lahar tells the newly twinless Lannister that their plan is to sack Lord Corlys' fortress, the High Tide, so the Sea Snake will be distracted during the battle. I did enjoy the little banter between the Lannister and the whatever her name was here. I've already forgotten. I just said it. Admiral Lahar. Yeah, I enjoyed their little back and forth.
Yeah,
throughout this whole episode.
Well, I mean, it was just a reminder of what she was like last season when he went to Barter or whatever. She was a certainly an interesting character.
Certainly is. Was. Yep. Next, we meet a brand new character, Lord Ormond Hightower, Otto's nephew. Leader of a small army, Ormond is waiting on word to attack Harrenhal, but receives a letter from Aemond insists instead that he is the new king and that he will join them on the battlefield. We also learn that Ormond has a strong aversion to unpleasant smells. Not good news for Ormond, given the short supply of showers in Westeros. What do we make of our very short scene with our new Hightower?
Not a lot to go on there other than, he didn't seem too much of a fan of old mate Aegon and the goings on of the kingdom. So, yeah, looked good in armor, but that's about it. I was like, oh yeah, James Dalton's on the show now.
Yeah, I remember they did that. They like announced the casting and everything, but then sort of forgot about it again until the show. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. What else here? After initially fearing his own mother helped Aegon flee King's Landing, Aemon starts to put renewed trust in Alicent again, using a cunning mix of reason and manipulation. Alicent convinces Aemon to leave King's Landing and fly to Harrenhal, leaving the door wide open for Rhaenyra to fly in and take the capital while it's unprotected by Vhagar. Mother and son seal it with an icy kiss, which Alicent barely manages to conceal her upset over.
Listen, wouldn't be Game of Thrones without some incest, am I right?
I don't know if this is I mean, I didn't take it as a power move as much as it's just Aemon wants to do the Targaryen thing, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he is prepping her for that.
Yeah, so he's prepping her for that.
I can either have my sister or you can take her place. It seems like,
And she doesn't want to say or do anything or whatever because obviously she wants to get
still thinks her plan is in motion.
Yeah, she still thinks her plan's going to work. But it was very gross, as per all incest scenes. But also, I'm like, yeah, that's not... It's weird, because in my mind, I view Game of Thrones, there's two kinds of incest. There's incest, and then there's Targaryens being Targaryens.
What's the incest system? So...
I mean, if there was not other characters doing incest, I would view that
Cersei and Jaime.
Yeah. Lannister, incest.
There's Lannisters.
Lannister is incest, and then there's Targaryens.
Targaryens.
Yeah.
Who have normalized it in such a way that it isn't as gross.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they're doing their Targaryen thing.
That's just their culture.
Just their culture. We can't judge. Receiving word of the battle about to erupt in the sea off Dragonstone, Rhaenyra resolves to ride into battle in Syrax, telling Jace he must stay home. Jace, however, locks his mother in her quarters and commands a guard under threat of death not to let her out. Instead, he takes flight on Vermax alongside Baelor on Moondancer and rides into battle. The Battle of Gullet begins. Before you know it, ships are ablaze and decks are covered in blood as the Triarchy and Sea Snake fleets go at it. Corlys has two major fire-breathing advantages as Moondancer and Vermax rain down fire on the ships, but the Triarchy have come prepared with anti-air weaponry in the form of scorpion-like harpoon guns. Lohair nails Vermax, who is weighed down by the weapon before he and Jace are pulled into the sea. Moondancer sweeps in for the save by severing the cable. I will say one good thing about they do this little, they sort of make you think the ending's going to go a different way because they'd already done the one save here, sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean the whole scene kicks off pretty intensely. And I don't think we'd really seen I was trying to think about it. I'm like, do we ever actually have like a as intense? We had like one big sea battle in Game of Thrones. Nothing to this scale though. I don't think like proper sea battle. Don't think so, right?
Not that I can recall. I mean, there was some Iron Island stuff.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, but it wasn't to this extent.
What's his face and what's his face's sister,
his cousin or whatever, sister.
And that kind of stuff. And I think there might have been something in one of the earlier seasons of House Dragon, but not to this scale. Like, obviously, I mean, of course, because the Damon was fighting the crab face dude. Remember, that was the start of the series. So, but this is obviously on a whole nother scale, and like with dragons included and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, crazy that they invented these ways to take down dragons, and then they lost it 200 years later.
I mean, they still have the thing.
They got a slightly different thing.
Yeah, but
the
also
being
200 years later, they don't have them readily available or up anywhere because dragons don't exist anymore.
I guess
that's the main thing.
But the concept's not that hard.
Yeah,
let's shoot something that'll pierce their skin and then weigh them down and drown them in the ocean. I know it was just It was surprising because the weights didn't look that heavy. Really?
I think it's like the weights are just heavy enough in combination with the water and the deep
you would
enough
think you would think it would be heavy enough to rip itself out the skin at that point. Is dragon hide that strong?
I don't know. Let's get out a science book that tells us
any dragon experts out there, let us know.
Yeah. I think the thing with fantasy creatures, you can just say, how you going to test it?
Yeah, that's true.
The Fate of Westeros may ride on this battle, but Lohair only has eyes for the sea snake and they're covered with red mist. Corlys has a plan. Lure Lohair and her supporting vessels into narrow, shallow Dragonstone Pass, where they'll all be aground on the rocks below. Initially, the plan seems to work when two of Lohair's ships get stuck on the teeth, but after jettisoning all dead weight, including referentially kicking the Armand Highland overboard, Lohair's ships manage to make it through the pass as well. Yeah, he just gets yeeted. Full scroll, out of here, motherfucker. Gone. That was good though. How much does your armor weigh? Right. See you, nerd. Yep. As Lohair's ships close the gap, Corlys notices that his home is literally on fire and freezes. Alan steps up and takes charge, preparing everyone as the ship is about to be boarded. The Triarchy swings aboard. Swords clash. Amid the chaos, Alan briefly falls into water as the queen, who never was, sinks and takes off his armor to stay afloat. Eventually, Corlys and Lohair trade blows. Corlys gets the upper hand, but as he's about to land a clean blow, he's thrown into the sea. Eventually, Alan kills Lohair in the half-submerged lower decks by stabbing them in the neck. Now, Corlys isn't dead, is he? Or was that the implication? Because I'm running under. I don't see a body hand dead.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead.
No, that's how I took it.
Because I think the fact that we got another death highly confirmed.
That's enough. Yeah,
that's enough. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm taking it as Alan thinks he sees his father die, or assumes his father's dead. But I'm going to say that the Corlys turns back up because it'd be way too quick to kill a major character like that and not show the actual body of him being dead. Mm-hmm. But it's good to show that character who obviously has shown abrasiveness to his father trying to reconnect with him or whatever, and then obviously you get to see here that he does care about him amidst it all. So While Rhaenyra attempts to ride Sheepstealer to Dragonstone, the wild dragon is drawn to the battle, noticing Vermax and Moondancer in the fray. Unfortunately, Sheepstealer has no interest in listening to Rhaenyra's commands and attacks Moondancer. Vermax pursues Sheepstealer, but flies too low and is hit by a harpoon weapon once again. This time, Moondancer arrives just too late, and Vermax is dragged under the surface and drowns. Jace pulls himself onto some debris, but is hit by an arrow in the back by an unseen archer. Further arrows fly in and hit Jace in the chest and neck, killing Rhaenyra's eldest son. Credits. So they have down in this article, which is good. The casualties. Who dies? Jason Lannister, beheaded by Roddy de Bruin. Sharko Lahar, stabbed in the neck by Alan. Vermax drowns after being pulled in the sea. And Jacaerys Velaryon, shot by 3 arrows. This episode leaves the fates of Lord Corlys and Tywin Lannister somewhat ambiguous.
Yeah. Like I said off the top, like if this was like a more, fun, adventurous like show, she would have come in on Sheepstealer and like killed all the ships and gone home a hero. But no, she comes home and is kind of the villain. Because she's taken this wild dragon and brought it into this volatile situation before she can tame it. She's killed heaps of Rhaenyra's men and is partially responsible for the death of Jace. So it'll be interesting to see if she is brought back with open arms next week. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, the move to kill Jace, I think, is pretty crazy. It's one of the strong characters, one of the recurring young characters on the show. I guess those strong boys, they just don't last long. Strong in name only. So I guess they don't have to worry about her having bastard children anymore, right? Because that's all her children with.
Yeah. Literally.
Not with Damon. So. Yeah. Again, like you said, Rhaenyra is not going to be a happy person come next week. Especially when I think we kind of skipped over it, but she was locked in her room, unable to do anything. And kind of very upset about being put in that situation and kind of betrayed. So this death is going to have major ramifications. Any deals that were set up before are off the table.
2 other things this article points out, noticed. It's worth pointing out that, yes, obviously the title sequence got an update, as usually does every season. But also, I didn't really notice it, or I wasn't paying enough attention, but apparently the theme song is an slightly updated one that Ramin Djawadi did to make it more percussion heavy, which apparently Ryan Condal said in an interview that, quote, "We wanted to mark the darker tone this season with something small but noticeable." So that's why they got a slightly updated.
It did sound a little bit different as it was first coming in. It wasn't as, triumphant, I guess, maybe is the term. You like slowly built into the song rather than the
yeah. So it's a remix. There you go.
Yeah. And a perfect rendition.
Yeah, and now you've got Ash's remix. And then they also say to Sarion, the unnamed small blue dragon who briefly appeared in the season 2 finale, appears alongside Ormond Hightail's forces in the season 3 premiere. There was a dragon there briefly shown in a caged area when we go see Ormond, see the Hightail. That is to Sarion, a dragon belonging to Darion Targaryen, who is yet to appear in the show. But that is the other son of Alicent and what was old mate's name? Anyway, who died in season 1, obviously. The father of all these people.
Yes. His name.
Who was sent away in season 1. I recall
That's
that
right,
as a plot point. That's as far as I remember. But obviously this is years later, so he'd be like a teenager now, I guess. That's his dragon. So there you go.
Mushrooms.
There you go. Any other notes or things for this week's episode?
No, I think we covered most things. It's just, it's be interesting to see how all the pieces kind of play. Kind of sad Loha got killed off like so quick. But she was a person on a mission.
Well, I mean, you knew one of them was going to die. It's like if she dies or Corley's dies because they were on a mission to kill one another. Well, she was on a mission to either die or die doing it, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, Helena Targaryen just dropping truth bombs.
What'd she say?
He felt no fear, but now the fear has come back. All that kind of stuff. So, dropping some bars.
All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of South of King's Landing. Of course, you can check out all our other shows at exposurenetwork.com/podcast. You can check out everything on exposurenetwork.com. If you want to follow us on socials, exposurenetwork.com/socials will take you, exposurenetwork.com/follow will take you to our socials. If you want to support the show, exposurenetwork.com/support is a good way to do that. And until next week, the council is over.